I hope you're all well. This vlog is going to be something just a little bit different. At the time of filming this, I don't know how long it's going to run for. But I'm doing this because I have other vlogs going on in the background that I'm reading books for at the moment. I'm going to have a 24-hour vlog with my Patreon coming up this week. So today is currently Monday, just to give you some context, today's Monday the 3rd of October. So later on this week I have a 24-hour reading vlog that I'm going to be doing, that I'm filming, and then towards the end of the month I'm going to have a weekend ween vlog, and in between maybe 1 or 2 other vlogs. So I do have some sporadic vlogs in between, and then around that I have a whole other bunch of books that I need to read. Some of them probably won't be featured in here because they're for a different vlog that's like a longer term vlog, but some of them I would still like for you guys to know what I was reading during the month of October outside of the other reading vlogs. This vlog will go for as long as it needs to go for. I don't know whether it will be a couple of weeks, like 2 weeks, or for the whole month. It just depends on how long the video ends up being. I don't want it to be too long because so I could end up splitting it in 2 and do 2 2-week ones, or I may just do it as a month-long one to see how I'm going on. Obviously you won't know in advance what I'm picking up because I don't know myself what I'm picking up. So anything that isn't going to be involved in 24-hour reading vlog or winter ween or anything else I decide to do in between will be mentioned in here. So yeah, that's how this vlog's gonna go. It could end up being incredibly messy, but I didn't want to, what I didn't want to do is have these other vlogs in between and then get to the end of like, well, it won't be the end of the month because I do 3 monthly wrap-ups now, but get to the wrap-up and you guys be like, wait, what? She read 15 books and we only saw like 5 of them? What the hell? So at least you guys still get to know my thoughts on the other vlogs, on the other books as well. So yeah, I'm gonna go because I need to finish off a book for a vlog that I've already started. I'm a little bit of a mess right now. I'm all over the place. I think I've got a finger in every single book, I'm not gonna lie. I think I've got like 10 books on my currently reading list right now. So I'm gonna go. Since I said that I was going to tell you what I was reading. I haven't done either of those things. So let's tell you about what I'm reading now, because I have started a couple of books. I've just finished another, but it was for a different video, so we're not going to mention that one. This is for the books that aren't involved in other videos. So the books, I'm currently reading 2 books at the moment, but I'm possibly picking up another one tomorrow. So the books that I am reading are The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. This is one of my Patreon buddy reads, and I have been tabbing it up as well. I'm having a good time with this one, you know. It's really interesting. So this one is following Patricia Campbell, whose life has never felt smaller. Her husband's like a workaholic, her kids have got their own lives, they're off doing their own thing, and her mother-in-law is senile. But the one thing that she does kind of have is this book club with these really nice women local to her, and she really enjoys it. However, there is a new guy in town. Some weird stuff goes down in her street, to her specifically, and then there's this new guy in town, and she ends up bringing him to the book club one day because she ends up helping him out. However, this weird guy he's just quite bizarre. He's got some things going on. He cannot leave the house. He cannot be out in the daylight. Says he's got a skin condition. So I think we might know what he is and what's going on here, but he comes to the book club, and that's the point at which I'm up to. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. I think there's going to be like a murder mystery or something. Oh yeah, on the back it says, James Harris is more of a Bundy than a Brad Pitt. The real problem, James is a monster of a different kind, and Patricia has already invited him in. Little by little, James will insinuate himself into Patricia's life and try to take everything she took for granted, including the book club, but she won't surrender without a fight in this blood-soaked tale of neighbourly kindness gone wrong. I am intrigued to see what happens next, and I am using one of Jade's Patreon bookmarks as well. Yes, that does have tampons and blood and fangs on it. So yeah, I'm currently on page, I've stopped in the middle of a chapter. I must have been interrupted in some way, but I am on page 99 at the moment, so enjoying this one. And then the other book that I've just started this evening, and it's all Lexi's fault, from Alexandra Roslin, because she's read it and she was going on about it in her latest reading vlog, and I decided I wanted to pick it up. I've kind of been feeling like I want to pick it up anyway, since I did Instagram controls my day vlog the other day, and I ended up picking an extra copy of it up in there because I have two really nice fancy copies, one from Fairly, one from Illumicrate, and I picked it up in that moment and I wanted to start it there and then, but I decided to be a responsible human and try and finish the It Girl first, so that's what I did. But I did start Babel by R.F. Kuang. I am fully aware, Lexi goes on a big thing about this, but I'm fully aware that there's two ways of saying this title, Babel and Babel, and it's said differently depending on where you look at it. So the narrator says Babel, however the translators are called babblers in the book. R.F. Kuang herself has actually made reference to the book as Babel as well. I think it just depends on where you come from. So in the UK, I think we call it Babel. In the States, they call it Babel. So it just depends. I'm going to continue calling it Babel. So if you want to take issue with that, that's totally fine. But I'm just going to call it Babel, and that's what I'm calling it, because I think it sounds nicer than Babel. It just sounds like I'm chatting shit, or the book's chatting shit. So Babel it is. But yeah, I have started this one. I've just started it this afternoon, and I am now tabbing it up. And I'm currently on page 90. I'm up to book 2, and I am using one of Daisy and B's latest bookmarks from the Halloween collection. But yeah, I have been severely tabbing this up and highlighting in the book, which is why I bought the extra copy, because I knew I wanted to do that, and it was probably going to be one of those books that I wanted to do this with. But this is following a young boy called Robin, who basically, as a young child, all of his family have died. His father's nowhere to be seen anyway, but all of his family's died. His siblings, his mother, the housekeeper. They've all died due to a plague, and this guy basically comes and takes Robin away from this town and takes him to London to be a translator. So he trains him, teaches him and trains him up basically to the point that he ends up going to Oxford University to become a translator and go to Babel. Now I'm doing it, to go to Babel. Babel, an act of translation is always an act of betrayal. Oxford, 1836, the city of dreaming spires. It is the centre of all knowledge and progress in the world, and at its heart is Babel, Oxford University's prestigious Royal Institute of Translation. The tower from which all power of empire flows. Orphaned in Canton and brought to England by a mysterious guardian, Robin Swift thought Babel a paradise until it became prison. But can a student stand against an empire? So far this has got quite a bit of racism, also sexism, severe sexism, colonialism going on through it, and I do have a tab for that. Every time it comes up I'm a little bit knocked sick because it is quite severe in here as well, but in general I'm actually really enjoying this. I know that Pris has DNF'd this, we were discussing it this afternoon, and I know that Pris has DNF'd it. She's unsure whether, she's probably going to give it another shot, but she's unsure how she's feeling about it. She said it was quite slow, and I would agree with her. It is quite slow. Not a phenomenal lot has happened. We're essentially following Robin's life and finding out exactly what's going on with him. However, I do find these days that I have a bit more patience with it, so long as it's not like super flowery writing or ridiculously detailed with loads of big words that I don't understand and makes me feel stupid. I'm quite happy to follow along with following someone's life and seeing what's going on with them. I read way more contemporary and romance these days, which is pretty much exactly that, and I kind of enjoy it now. And I did as well similarly read Royal Assassin, I think that's the first one, by Robin Hobb, and I actually fucking loved that book. I really enjoyed it, so I am intrigued to see where this goes. I'm up to book 2, so I'm 90 pages in, and I am really intrigued to see where it goes. We've just got to a bit of a cliffhanger and I'm really excited to find out what happens next. There's some gorgeous quotes in here as well. I think my favourite one so far is "We're here to make magic with words," which I've ended up writing on the front page here because it was just really pretty. And then there was another one as well which was on the next page. "They were safe here, they were alone. This was their tower, their refuge." It's just so lovely, you know, and I'm just really enjoying it. I'm having a really good time with it. So that's the other book that I'm reading at the moment. So those are the 2 books that I'm currently reading. The other one that I am debating whether or not to pick up tomorrow, due to the fact that it came in a fairy loot. No, fuck. Oh, shut the bed. Let's try that again, shall we? I've just thrown dandelion and burdock all over the fucking table. My car keys, my bookmarks, my pens. Luckily I didn't hit a book or any electrical stuff, so I'm lucky my laptop wasn't on there, fucking hell. Anywho, I was saying that there is a book that I am planning on reading. Well, I'm thinking about reading. The Fairy Loot read along for it starts tomorrow, so I am debating whether or not to do it, but we'll see how I'm feeling. But it is Belladonna by Adeline Grace. This is the gorgeous Fairy Loot edition, which I have already tabbed up in case I do decide to read. And it is like a gothic, brings to life a highly romantic gothic infused world of wealth, desire and betrayal. It sounds right up my street, but I feel like the perfect time to read this would be with the Fairy Loot read along, so I may give this a go next week as well. So this could end up being what I'm reading, which is a vibe. Over the next few days we will see what happens. So yeah, that's where I'm up to with that. I'll keep you posted with my updates anyway, because this has been a reasonably long update, but I'll keep you posted with where I'm up to and how I'm doing and how I'm feeling about the books and stuff. But yeah, that's where I'm up to. It's currently Thursday the 20th. No update on reading just yet, but I have just sat down to start some sprints with Patreon. So I am going to... Oh, actually I do have a bit of an update, not much though. I did start Belladonna by Adeline Grace, and I got to page 82. So I was trying to keep up with the Fairy Loop read along, and I haven't so far, so yay for that. But I am I think I'm going to try and finish this tonight actually. I don't know if that's going to be possible, but I'm going to try and get a decent way into it anyway, and I am really enjoying it so far. So I'm having a good time with it, and there's not really much to tell you so far. All that's happened is exactly what is in the synopsis. So we're following Signa, and so far it's basically been her backstory about the fact that her guardians have basically been dying left, right and centre since her parents died. So death just seems to be constantly following her around, but she's realised that she can, if she gets her, she can't die basically, but every time she every time she pretty much should be dead, death visits her, and then she ends up just waking up again and she's fine. And it's not death doing it. They can't even figure it out either. So I don't know where this is going to go, but she's just made it to a new house with a new guardian and stuff. I think she's 7, if I remember correctly, she's 17, not far off being 18 and actually getting some money, her hands on some inheritance, in which she's planning on just disappearing and being away from people because she's sick of people dying around her. So I'm not sure how this is going to go now, but I'm enjoying it so far. So I may continue on with this evening, or I may try and finish Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I'm not sure. I am still reading Babel, haven't made any more progress, but my aim is to try and finish that next week on Monday and Tuesday. So this vlog's going to go until then. So I am hoping to finish those 3 books in this vlog, just so that you know. But I do have some posts, so I thought I would show you exactly what I got, and then I do have a large parcel here from publishers. I'm not sure who from until I open it, but we'll find out together. So the first one that came was Just Like Magic by Sarah Hogel, and this was sent to me by Pittacus. So they did send out an email the other day asking if I was interested in any of the books that they've got coming up, and this was one of them, and it is a Christmas book. So all I want for Christmas is, oh, who cares? Whilst Betty Hughes boasts an extravagant lifestyle on social media, the reality is quite the opposite. She's broke and her family has no idea. With the pressures of festive season looming, Betty drunkenly plays a record of All I Want for Christmas Is You backwards and accidentally conjures up Hall, a charming and handsome man who's the literal embodiment of the Christmas spirit. What's more, he has the power to make all of Betty's holidays wish come true, no matter how bizarre. Posing as her fiancé, Hall brightens up the holidays more than Betty ever thought possible. The former grumpy Betty starts to find her heart merry and light, but the more time she spends with her fake fiancé, the more she wishes for something real. Hall promised he would make all of Betty's holiday wishes come true, but as his time on Earth draws to a close, she wonders if all she really wants for Christmas is him. Very much a romance, very much Christmassy. I do like the fact that there is an element of Christmas Carol vibes in here. Very, very excited about that one. And then I also got What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. This cover is really, really pretty. Wasn't sure about it compared to the American one, but I actually think I prefer it rather than the rabbit. And this says a gripping and atmospheric retelling of Edgar Allan Poe's classic The Fall of the House of Usher. So I am keen on reading this one. It is short, so I also got that. And then we have this large parcel from, it says Hatchet Distribution, but I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's Pittacus again. I know I'm expecting some stuff, but I can't remember what. Okay, I ordered some books. I do remember. Okay, I ordered the Galance Halloween bundle set. So I entirely forgot that this was a thing. Honesty, I literally did it the other day. I do not understand what is wrong with me. So there are 3 different books in here. So we have Family Business by Jonathan Sims, a modern horror classic from one of the most exciting writers in the field today. Don't know anything about this, but I was keen on getting some more horror books, I'm not gonna lie. Death is a Dirty Business, a chilling new horror about grief and belonging from the award-winning writer of the internationally bestseller 13 Stories. Intriguing. Then I got, this is much chunkier than I thought it was going to be, bloody hell. Then I got Ghost Story by Peter Straub, And this one says, it begins shortly after a party at which one of their members, Edward Wanderley, had died or was killed. The Chowder Society, who for years had met in customary evening dress with the object of telling each other tales of every kind, now found themselves drawn towards the supernatural. It was some sort of solace for Edward's loss. They began to tell ghost stories, extraordinary ghost stories that didn't always stop when the teller finished speaking. Then came the dreams, shared simultaneously by the Chowder Society members, forecasting horrors the four aging men can scarcely bring themselves to discuss. And now they are about to learn what happens to those who believe they can bury the past and get away with murder. That sounds really interesting. This book though, oh, the chapters are so long. Oh, they're split into parts. Oh, maybe not. It's a little bit like Stephen King novel, you know, where it's like a chapter and then it's split into parts within the chapter. Interesting. And then I also have Little Eve by Katarina Ward, which is the book that caught my eye more than anything because I really enjoyed The Last House on Needless Street, and I've just got Sundial, so I'm intrigued by this one. I don't know when this came out. Was this before The Last House on Needless Street? 2018. A heart-pounding literary thriller. Oh, maybe not. With a devastating twist. Maybe. We'll see. On New Year's Day 1921, 7 mutilated bodies are discovered, ritually arranged on a remote Scottish island. Dina is the sole survivor. She knows that Eve killed them and then drowned them while attempting to escape the island. That is what happened. That is the story she's always told. But Eve has a darker, stranger story to tell. A tale of a cult, of strange friendships, and of her faith and her love being tested. And as the two women's tales interweave, the truth will slowly become clear. It's not that long either. So intriguing. Oh, she did another one called Raw Blood. Huh. Oh, Raw Blood was her debut. Intriguing. She's just so much more than I anticipated, actually. 250 pages. So yeah, those are the books that I got from Galance, and then I obviously got these two as well. Thank you to Pittacus for sending me this one. I really do appreciate it. So nice, another little haul going on there. Shit the bed. Right, I'm going to go and do some reading because I really need to read today. And I will check back in with you when I've got another update for you. Hello loves, it is, I actually have no idea what day it is, Wednesday 26th of October, and I'm here to wrap this vlog up. This was a bit of a mess. I actually have no idea what happened in this vlog. All I know is that I think I finished one book and that's it, because the other books that I finished during this time period were for other vlogs. So I did manage to finish Belladonna by Adeline Grace, and I gave this one 3 stars. It's 3.5 if I gave half stars, but 3 stars on Goodreads. Basically, I don't know if it was me or the book. I think it was probably a combination. I am intrigued enough that I will probably read the second one, but I just found myself not wanting to pick the book up again once I put it down, so it took me a while to get through it. So there is that. However, I did enjoy the mix of different genres. So there is a fantasy element in there because of death. There is a romance element in there because of death. There is a mystery element in there because of death. So I did like the different elements in there. I thought it was really good. I did enjoy our main character as well. Other than that, I don't really know what else to say about it. It was kind of like middle in the road, and I was like poorly during the time finishing it off as well. So yeah, I don't know, maybe upon reread I might enjoy it a little bit better. I think by the time the next one comes out, I might reread the first one, or I might wait until, I don't know if it's going to be a duology or a trilogy or more. I might wait until the last book comes out and then just reread the first one and binge through the next two. We'll see. But middle of the road for me. It is what it is, unfortunately. A little bit sad about it because the book is so beautiful, but it is what it is. I have also got about 169 pages-ish of Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. This one I am also enjoying, but it's another one where I keep putting it down and then I'm not in the mood to pick it back up again. But once I'm picking it up, I'm enjoying it more than I was Belladonna. But I'm just struggling to pick it up at the moment, and I don't know, I think it's me. I don't think it's necessarily the books, I think it's me. And I think what's happening is I'm finding a bit of pressure at the moment for picking books up that I have to read for vlogs or buddy reads or book clubs or whatever, as opposed to picking books up I want to pick up. And I think what I need to do is try and balance myself out. Because I can read multiple books at once and pick a book up that I'm reading for a certain vlog and then pick a book up that I want to read. And I think that's the way I need to do it from here on out. I am really excited about Weekend Ween coming up this weekend. So I am hyped for my TBR for that. So I'm hoping that that works out. Another thing that I am considering is that because I picked up 3 fantasies at the same time and I've been in a fantasy slump, that maybe that's why I'm struggling as well. So there is that, but overall I am enjoying Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, and I am still hoping to finish it off. It just won't be during this vlog, but I'll give you my thoughts on it when I do finish it, whenever that will be. Maybe I might try and finish it off during Weekend Ween this weekend if I've got time. We'll see. And then the other book that I did start during this vlog was Babel by R.F. Kuang, and I am still only 90 pages into that one, up to the part 2 mark. So I haven't gone any further with that, but I am enjoying it so far. I'm having a good time with it, and I'm excited about that because I was worried that I wasn't going to like it, and I have 3 copies of it, but I am annotating it as well. So I'm going to take my time with that one as well. Caitlin did say to me she took about 21 days to read that book, and she said it was the best thing she ever did. So rather than trying to plough through it in one sitting, I think that's another thing as well I've been feeling guilty about not picking that one back up because I'm enjoying it the most. But I will go back to it and just take my time with it. I am wondering whether to try and do like 50 pages a day and then I can read something else outside of that as well. We'll see. I do tend to struggle with like a long-term reading, so you know, taking my time with a book. I do tend to binge a book. If I haven't finished it within a week, I don't tend to go back to it, so I'm hoping that's not the case for Babel. But yeah, that is what has happened during this vlog. I actually can't even remember how long this vlog has been now. It might have been since the beginning of the month, but everything else I've read surrounding this vlog has been for other stuff. So I have read 19 books so far this month, but just 1 book during this vlog. It helps that 10 of those were the Saga series. But, you know, it's reading. It's not cheating. It is what it is. If you're wondering where I am, I'm in my office at work. At my brother's. So he's just nipped out to go get his flu jab, and I was like, I need to wrap this vlog up, so let's do it now while he's out. So yeah, that was pretty much it. There has probably been a couple clips from Scare City if I think that they're good enough to be in here. I had a good time going to Scare City on the weekend with Andy. It did shake me up. I think the worst part for me, because it was at Camelot, which used to be a theme park if you didn't know, is the castle. They turned the castle, which used to be where the slides, the tube slides were, they turned that into a little bit of like a scare castle, if you like. And it had, I don't know how to explain the divider fencing stuff that they had up. Imagine a, oh, what are they called? The metal container box things that they use to transport, you know, for shipping and stuff like that. Imagine those, but imagine it kind of like opened up, and that was like the fencing that went round and guided your path round. And I thought, if we go round this thing, it took ages, and I thought if we go round this thing one more time, I'm going to cry. I was so anxious going through it. There was like, it was pitch black and there were flashing lights. It's obviously no good for people with epilepsy at all, but there were flashing lights, the music was absolutely raging, and they had, the actors had I don't know what they had on them, but they were banging them up and down the fence. All along the fence, they were just walking up and down the fence, banging them along, and then a massive bang would happen, and that sort of thing really amps my anxiety up, like fireworks. It really kicks my anxiety off. I can't deal with it. I used to love fireworks and I can't deal with them anymore. Because it's a because I can't see it happening, I can't predict it, it's an unpredictable thing, and therefore I panic because I don't know when it's going to happen. So that shit me up. But after that point then, there was like a what they called midway point, where they had like bars and restaurants and stuff. You could get some food and sit and have a break. And then you carried on, but that wasn't even like the halfway. You were almost, I would say you were well over like 2/3 the way through it, 3/4 the way through it. You were almost at the end. It literally took us like 15 minutes then to get to the end, and it had taken us maybe 45 minutes to get to that point. So I don't know, the last part was a little bit of a letdown. I feel like if they put the bar at the end of the whole thing, they would get more people sticking around for a drink at the end. Whereas we just had like one drink in the middle because there was no point in sticking around for ages. We had to get back to it and carry on. So, but overall it was good. I had a good time. Next year I'm going to force him to go to a pumpkin patch because we haven't done that this year, and we did something he wanted to do. So next year we're going to do something I want to do. But yeah, overall, I don't know what the fuck has happened in this vlog. I'm not going to lie, I have no idea what's gone on. My brother's new chair is very comfy. I want one. That's where I sit. That's a shit tip. Just in general, this office is a mess, to be fair. Okay, I've no idea what else to say for this vlog because I don't know what else happened in it. But I hope that it's not been too messy or chaotic, and I hope you have enjoyed. I know there's not been much reading done in general, but I hope you have enjoyed it, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.